An Imarti is from the family of the jalebis. The only difference being an Imarti becomes a quick recipe made with Urad Dal, and a jalebi requires a fermented batter out of refined flour and yogurt. So the first thing for Imarti is of course the Urad Dal or the black gram, which is split and polished. The first step here is to wash the dal at least 3 times and soak it for a minimum of 6 hours. This dal needs to be nice and plump. The water needs to be drained out completely. And the next step is to grind this into a fine paste using some water. Well, this urad dal, which is now drained and kept ready, can be divided into 2 to 3 portions depending on the size of the container and the quantity of the urad dal that you're using. Well, this recipe works perfectly for 20 to 24 Imartis. I'm adding in very little water because we need a nice thick and a smooth paste. The smooth paste is done and ready. We need to transfer this into a large bowl. It's important to have the paste nice and smooth because this needs to be piped in the shape of a flower in hot oil. So it's important to have the nozzle absolutely clear. This smooth paste now needs to be whisked for the next 3 minutes so that it becomes nice, aerated and fluffy. While we are doing this simultaneously, because it's going to take some time, I'm also starting with the sugar syrup. For that, I'm going to heat a pan and add in a cupful of sugar. To this, a cupful of water. To flavor this, I'm going to add in some strands of saffron, and along with this, a few drops of lemon juice. The reason of adding lemon juice at this stage is to ensure that the sugar doesn't recrystallize in the syrup, and 2, to kind of round out the taste, the sweet taste of the sugar. So allow that to boil on medium flame, and by that time we continue with whipping this for at least 3 minutes. Most halwais in India do this with their hands. The aeration happens best when you beat it with your hands, but we are going to do that with a whisk. While beating this mixture, I'm going to add in 3 critical ingredients. One being baking soda. Remember to sieve the baking soda because you do not want those clots and lumps. Second is corn flour. Now this is going to add into the crisp texture of the Imarti. And finally, some edible food grade orange color. Now this is actually imperative because you want the sweet to look exactly like how the halwais make in India. I perfectly understand a lot of people may have reservations about using food grade colors, but trust me, for this recipe it's an imperative. It's important to use a good quality branded food grade color. We need to continue whisking this. The fluffy batter is now ready, and simultaneously if you check, the sugar syrup is also ready. I'm just going to move the pans. I've taken a shallow pan in which I've taken ghee. This needs to be moderately hot, and while that's heating up, let's quickly fill this in a piping bag. Well, traditionally, the halwais use a jalebi cloth, but of course, we all do not have it. So I'm going to show it to you in a very simple way using a piping bag. You can see the mixture has become nice and fluffy. I'm not going to take too much mixture at a time because then it's easier to control the piping bag. I'm going to snip the end of this piping bag using a sharp scissor. It would be my personal advice to practice making an Imarti because of course it's an acquired skill on a plate rather than frying it or making it in the oil itself. So here is how you need to go. We need to form 2 circles like so, and finally coil it up like that. Well, this Imarti, the size rather, could be bigger or smaller depending on what you choose to make. The ghee in the pan has heated up. Time to shape the Imartis in it. We need to make 2 circles like so and pipe it along the periphery. Similarly, we need to pipe further on. On medium flame, we need to fry this on both sides for a minute and a half on each side. Once this Imarti turns crisp on one side, we need to give it a flip over so that it turns crisp on the other side as well. Given this donut-like shape of this Imarti, I'm going to use a chopstick to lift this like so. It's important to drain the ghee out completely, and this now gets transferred into the sugar syrup. You could also flip this once twice over, but with light hands. You do not want the Imartis to break. And while the first batch is getting soaked, let's move on to frying the second batch. You need to remove the Imartis from the sugar syrup and reserve these on a plate for the final plating. Now that the Imarti is ready, time to garnish this with some silver warq and pistachios. This Diwali, spread sweetness with Imarti. Share it with your family, friends and the world around you. Have a safe and happy Diwali, and do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to Rajshri Food.